I got hit by a car.
Like, people are in the Reddit group.
So we'll look into the national debt. Can I rip that again, Danny?
I feel like you're doing a good job.
And call me crazy. Welcome to Biking into Cars,
We're so happy to be here with you today.
the podcast where we kind of look into things and
We just kind of stumble into them, like one would if they were to bike into a car.
yes, walking into knowledge, biking into knowledge.
Maybe we should call it biking into knowledge.
Biking into knowledge. Well, no, it's a metaphor. When you bike into a car, what you're doing metaphorically is you are going on a journey and stumbling onto a complete different path than the one that you first journeyed onto and ending up in just the perfect place. And that's what happens when you bike into a car.
But you know what happens if you are not wearing a helmet? You get a concussion.
That's true. But Danny was wearing a helmet when he biked into a car.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
So my name is Madeline, also Maddie, but I am from Miami Beach and I now reside in Chicago. And this is my sister-in-law pending.
Future sister-in-law.
Right, that's why I said
Potential future sister.
right, potential. We did just wrap up a bridal shower, but I haven't said my I do's yet, so there's always time.
My name's Bella, and I am brothers. I'm the sister. My brother is civilly unionized to Maddie, and we're looking into a marriage, and it'll probably happen somewhere in the next few months. There's a date, January 17th. Turn off your phone.
Please silence your phones. It's my mom calling. She'll probably call a lot during the podcast.
Should we have a tally for how many times Barb
Yes.
calls? Okay.
That was
Actually,
number
do have a
one.
tally app.
Okay, load that shit up. So Bella is from the Midwest. She's from a suburb outside of Chicago.
But when you're from a suburb outside of Chicago, you just say you're from Chicago.
That's what I hear. But she lives in Chicago. We live near each other, though she doesn't come over nearly enough.
I walked there a
Right.
few weeks ago.
But the real reason
month
I'm
ago.
starting this podcast with her is so that she'll hang out with me more.
Exactly. I'm kind of hard to pin down.
You are. So should we tell them like what we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, or should we tell them about biking into cars?
Like
and
the backstory,
origin
perhaps.
story.
We could do an origin episode. Well, you were present. I was not. So why don't you kick
No,
us off?
yeah, okay. So I think we should start off by not start off because we've started a little bit, but I think we should share with you guys what the origin story of biking into cars, where the metaphor comes from. Yeah, so the biker. So there's this notorious biker in our neighborhood that we both have a connection to. How are you
Yeah.
connected to the notorious biker?
I am unfortunately engaged to the notorious
Okay, he's my
biker.
brother. So he's always loved costumes. He's a costume guy. So the biker, the unnamed biker, anonymous biker. He was getting like a tune-up. I don't know if he was getting like his gear grease or whatever they fucking do on bikes, and he was trying to get his bike situated. And I think he had also gotten a new helmet, and he definitely also was wearing biking gloves and a biking outfit.
Do you think he was wearing like wrist straps?
No,
Like
but he
knee
had
pads?
gloves and a belt. And it's important to know that this was a summer before he went to college.
No, it
yeah,
wasn't.
Yeah, it was. No, it was. I know it was.
Oh
Because this
my
was the summer after my sophomore year of high school.
It makes it even better.
Yeah. So he was legally an adult. He's 18 years old. And we get a text in our family group chat that says, got hit by a car from the biker. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm sitting at home watching TV with my friends. You got hit by a car. But I know my brother. And also, I know logic. And I know that if you can text me that you've gotten hit by a car, that you're probably okay. So I don't know if I'm proud of this. I don't know if I'm not ashamed, but I'm not proud. I stayed on the couch watching TVs with my friends.
Neutral. She's just neutral.
And my friends were friends with Danny. Like, they loved him. It's not a big, like,
It really was,
it's
as they
nothing
say, no big
personal.
deal.
Yeah. It just, we were like, okay, what he says he got hit by a car, and that could mean a myriad of things. And it's not yet my business to determine what that myriad of things might be. So anyways, my mom comes home early for work, and she goes, Bella, how are you sitting here on the couch watching TV? Your brother could be lying dead somewhere. Okay. Wow. So she bought it when he said I got hit by a
A
car.
little hyperbolic.
She didn't think about the fact that it's really hard to text saying I got hit by a car.
I mean,
if you're well.
she had heard that her son had been
Yeah,
hit by
whatever.
a
So she
car.
comes in running and she's upset about it. So I'm like, okay, lady, let's figure it out. We'll go. So we walk outside. You know what we see? We see this person, the biker, walking his bike like a sad little Eeyore, and with his helmet and his gloves and his biking gear and his bell all askew. And he just looked so dejected. And then he told us the story of how it happened. And what he had explained was him biking into a car. And for years, he just would not admit that he biked into the car. He would say, I got hit by a car, It's not funny, blah, 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 blah. It's
He really
hilarious.
was clinging to that
He
it wasn't
biked
funny.
into a car. It's very funny. So biking into cars.
For the first time ever.
There we go.
And hence, folks, the name of our podcast.
Biking into cars.
There you go. Heard it here first from the biker himself.
Because we would not be talking to you on this podcast if it were not for Danny biking into that car.
It's true.
It changed the
really.
trajectory of his life.
Origin story, you could say. And more importantly, without the biker, we would never have met probably and started this podcast. So
I think so too. I think it changed his life that much. I think it was the sliding doors moment in his. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, with Gwyneth Paltrow. It's a good movie.
Paltrow.
It's like we did it. I had a book club growing up, and one month we did a movie. I think the moms were just tired. It was a mother-daughter book club. So we did a movie, and we watched the movie Sliding Doors for our book club that month.
It sounds good, actually. Maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, it was good, and it's a Gwyneth Paltrow. She's trying to make a train, and she makes a train in one. It's like kind of a side by side, and you see the two different realities. And she
Oh.
makes the train in one, and she doesn't make the train in another.
Parallel
And in
universe.
one of them, she catches her boyfriend cheating, and in the other one, she doesn't. And that like happens in the right at the beginning of the. It's not a
Okay,
spoiler.
great. I think we should watch that.
Yeah, and so I actually didn't really enjoy it. It's not my type of movie. There's a lot of angst and like it's like a romance kind of, which is not my thing.
No, me either.
But we read some really fucking dumb books in that book club, so it was better.
It was a good break.
2 hours.
It was a welcome
yeah,
reprieve.
2 hours of sliding doors versus like a month of reading a book I didn't want to read. We're fine. It felt like a fair deal. That was his sliding doors moment. And so in the version where he actually got hit by a car, not our reality, Maddie and I didn't meet. But in this version where Danny biked into a car, we got
now you have us dynamic duo. One could say 2 peas in a pod.
Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna be looking into things that we're interested in.
And we have a wide range of interest between the two of us.
Yeah, and some of the things we're interested in might sound uninteresting, but rest assured.
Yeah, we make them interesting.
Well, and also they're interesting. Sometimes you hear something and you're like,
how could
that
be
sounds
interesting?
boring. Then it becomes a whole
Sometimes
podcast.
you have to open your mind to things.
Yes. So open your mind, keep an open mind.
Please.
On this.
So what are we learning today?
On this episode, we are looking into but what we are going to do today, what we're looking into is something very topical, and that is government shutdowns.
Okay, let's look into the government
shutdown.
I
know the topic.
You're right. But I have not looked into it.
Maddie, tell us what you know about government shutdown.
So what I know about government shutdowns is that the government is closed, obviously. Some parts of the government, right? So some parts are still functioning, which is interesting. Some workers have been asked to not come into work, but then some are working without pay. It's very interesting. The biggest thing that I've learned since the government shutdown is I've really been dragged. No, I mean, I dragged myself into the whole of air traffic controllers. I'm really active in the Reddit page and just keeping the morale up for air traffic controllers. I think they are just so amazing. And I've really learned a lot about just like how they're feeling with it. And their main priority really is to protect us people in the sky. They protect the sky.
Okay, so not a lot. You don't know a lot about
I just know about the air traffic controllers. Clearly, I would like to know about air traffic controllers.
No, and that'll come up for sure because, it's been a part of this for a few years. This is a problem every time the government shuts down.
And it's normally what makes government reopen. The air traffic controllers not being able to come into work because they're so tired.
Not starving children.
I mean, I don't think it's reached that point until this shutdown. No, I know. So
I'm more into the history.
Okay, right.
Okay, just so we're all on the same page, because I feel like some people are more interested in civics than other people. Let's just break it down. Let's start at the beginning. There's 3 branches of government.
Yes, there are. Amen.
There's the executive branch. There's the legislative branch, and there's the judicial branch. Okay. And the president is in the
executive.
And Congress is in
the legislature.
Yes. And the Supreme Court
Is the judicial.
There we go. Judicial judges, legislator is our lawmakers, and the executive branch is the president and his cabinet.
Yeah,
and
his like appointees.
There's like I don't know to everyone who's in the executive.
It's a large brand.
So our country started, and the three branches are there because, and we all know this, no taxation without representation.
Amen.
Right? So the big thing is we as a colony, we were like, we're going to vote on people who are going to vote on our taxes. And then in that way, we will be inadvertently
represented.
Well, yeah, but also we will be the masters of our own taxes.
We should all want to be the masters of our
Well, for sure, but also like we should
tax.
Yeah, we should all feel like, okay, yeah, I
like where they're going.
Yeah, exactly. We
good
should
about
be
it.
The idea was we could be more invested in paying taxes.
My money's being spent well.
Right. And so part of that was obviously people were super, super duper concerned with how the government would then spend the money. This is called appropriations. Okay. So in the government, an appropriation, I'm just going to.
Yeah, please.
Because it's good to have like the legit definition. An appropriation is a legislative action so the Congress does it. The House of Representatives and the Senate have to agree upon it. And it's a legislative action that sets aside and allocates public funds for a specific purpose, giving an agency the legal authority to spend money. Okay? So you can't just willy-nilly say, I'm in charge of the picking up poop for Cook County. And in the county of Chicago, I need to make sure that every single dog, and I'm in charge of that federally. I don't know exactly how that would work. But
I understand.
I can't just like go hire a bunch of poop pickers uppers and be like, I'll give you guys $100,000 per poop picker upper per whatever, and it'll be great, and we'll get them the poop off the streets in 2 seconds because we're giving crazy salaries to these people, and actually that would probably be a good way to do it. But you can't just do that because you have an allotted amount of money that you're allowed to spend, and you can't just, and then you got to budget it. So these are just some basic concepts that I think it's important.
No, it's just super important.
I'm not sure that people think about. I'm sure none of this is surprising to anyone, but like, could you have come up with that off of the top of your head?
No.
Probably not. So I'm not saying that I'm like giving any crazy information, but this is good. Sometimes you just got to name it. So we're just naming some things right now. Okay. And so to tie this all back to the no taxation without representations, the appropriation funds give the legislative branch, it's a direct check, like the biggest check on the executive branch by controlling how they spend the money. I think, which makes sense, but it's also like something that you'd be like, oh, what's the biggest check that I wouldn't think appropriations. That's the biggest check.
But that's a big check.
It is. So, and checks and balances, we're remembering, are the different branches of government like to check and balance each other. And that's how we make sure #no kings. No King's Day.
No kings.
This is all to make sure.
No kings.
However, okay, and then this congressional power, it's called the power of the purse.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yes. So this comes from Article 1, Section 9, Clause 7 of the Constitution.
Thank you for citing.
From the Constitution. And it says, no money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law. So this is a power given to Congress. It's the main way Congress limits executive power. And I found this. I can't deep dive everything, but in my notes it also says how they ended the Vietnam War in 1974. Because it was something with appropriation.
It was.
Because like Nixon was doing something weird. But that's like how they were able to
end it.
Yeah. Okay, and then this budget, this appropriations budget, is due at the start of the fiscal year.
Right, that's like the government budget. Yeah.
Yes. But that's like, I'm not a corporate girly, so I'm like, fiscal year October 1st.
Right, we are not corporate girls. Just so everyone knows.
Okay. So what happened was, in the olden days, like the 1800s, sometimes departments would just sign all these contracts at the beginning of the like fiscal term, and they would spend all that they were appropriated within the first few months just because they were trying to get more money from the government. So it was
okay.
like, we'll
You gotta
you
spend some to
know,
get
right,
some.
we'll buy 700,000, whatever the fuck it is, so that, you know, they give us 900,000
Okay.
for the second half of the year. I don't
Right. To
they
get
were
more money.
people were overspending. So the Anti-Deficiency Act was enacted in 1884 with major amendments occurring in 1950.
Okay.
The first ADA.
Okay, thank you.
Well, because the other one is the Americans with Disabilities.
Yeah, no, I know.
So the ADA prevents agencies from obligating more funds than have been appropriated by Congress. So that means that they
Okay.
cannot sign a contract that makes them obligated. That means that they are bound to pay something
Yeah.
when it hasn't been appropriated for them.
Okay.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Um,
Seems like we're checking and
people,
balancing.
yeah, right. People were taking advantage of it, and they were
Of
like, "You
course
can't do
people
that."
were.
In 1884.
You can't give people anything.
Yeah, and it was part of it, like, had to do with Jim Crow, or not Jim Crow, the Reformation after
Okay.
the Civil War.
Okay.
Part of it was like, it's like, it's racist. They were like trying to hold different things and like overspend on like
Oh, okay.
policing.
Yeah. Right. Put it into like
Yeah, right. And it was like,
things that
oh, okay,
we
this is
wouldn't.
good. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just spend all your money and then like
Right.
ask for more, because the government used to make
Right. You can't do that anymore.
we used to not just like rack up a crazy
Wait,
national
so then
debt.
is that how like
actually don't even
individual like cities go into major debt?
Probably.
Right? Wouldn't that make sense? Like if they're just overspending and they think the government's
Yeah,
gonna,
or
like...
but they could, it's possible that they're like, I think every year we're budgeting
Right.
for a debt. So I think, I don't know.
Isn't it crazy that that's how... Yeah, I mean, obviously it is. We'll get
Yeah,
into
that's
that.
a whole nother
Yeah.
episode. So we'll look into the national debt. Okay, it was enacted because agencies were signing contracts such that they were obligated to pay more than they were apportioned, sometimes within the first few months of the fiscal year, and then pressuring Congress into providing those funds. And I
Okay.
feel like our Congress now, obviously, we know, would be like, fuck you, no,
Yeah, they don't
pay
care about
yourself,
us.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
right. They'd be like, you have
you're
to
shit
deal
out of
with
luck.
that.
Why
Yeah.
would you trust us?
No, you can't trust them for
yeah.
anything.
Okay. Exceptions are made under the Act, including for activities involving the safety of human life or the protection of property. That's according to Congress.gov.
That feels
So,
like a good
right,
source.
some of this is Wikipedia, some of this is Congress.gov.
Congress.gov seems right.
Okay, so now here is where something interesting comes in. Not that this hasn't already been interesting, because I've been fascinated by myself.
It's super interesting.
But there's this man, I believe, I'm sorry to this man.
I do not know this man.
Well, yeah, now I know this man.
Right,
Most
very
people
well.
don't know this man, but they should know this man. And you do sound ridiculous if you do not know this man. Kiki Palmer. So his name is Benjamin Civiletti, or Civiletti.
Benjamin, we
Civiletta.
are sorry for the mispronunciation.
Civiletti. Civiletti.
I feel like it's got to be Civiletti.
Civalletti. He worked for Carter, of course.
Yeah, that lines up.
And this is all according to governmentexecutive.com. So that's still .com, but that's a pretty good domain. Government Executive. I don't know. Okay, so this guy, Benjamin.
Just make sure.
This is from the Government Executive, the management section, I think. And it is titled, "That Time A Lawyer Invented the Government Shutdown," which is literally what happened.
Yeah.
This is a quote from former Agriculture Department official Kenneth Ackerman wrote and he said it in 2019. "Our country survived the Civil War, the Great Depression, and World War II, all without anyone ever shutting down the government." Which it feels insane. We survived the Civil War and they didn't shut down.
Right, when the country was in a war with itself.
Yeah, why?
The government still functioned.
And
Congress, take note.
Here's the thing, though. And no, it's not. Wait, okay, no. The next part of his quote is pithy. But
so excited for it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But here's the thing. It's not because, like, oh, the government is so incompetent now, which it is. But it is because of this guy, Benjamin Civiletti, who Carter asked him to write an opinion on shutdowns. Okay. And his opinion said, in the 1970s, oh yeah, this is interesting. Funding lapses started to occur not because of like accounting errors and like, oh, we underestimated it, but because they became entangled with legislation on hot button issues such as abortion and school integration.
Not
school
civil
integration. I mean, abortion we're still talking
Wait,
about today, which
what?
is
I'm
wild.
sorry,
But
what?
school
This
integration.
was in the 1970s, you said?
Yeah, well, it took like
No, I know, but like, guys,
yeah, right.
that's, I mean, what?
Yeah. From fiscal
Oh,
1977 to fiscal 1980, there were 6 gaps in federal funding, ranging from 8 to 17 days. I wish those
that
were the good
sounds
days.
nice.
Yeah.
An 8-dayer? Wow.
Yeah. Congress was making a practice of not finishing spending bills on time.
And they've kept up with that practice.
Well, that's the next sentence is a habit that would grow dramatically worse in the 21st century.
There we go.
So that's just for sure.
That's so sad. Oh, God.
Okay. So this was happening, and one lawmaker, Rep. Gladys, of course her name is Gladys, Gladys Noon Spellman, Democrat from MD, that's Maryland.
It's gotta be Maryland.
Couldn't be anything
No, it's
else.
Maryland.
Minnesota.
It's Maryland. I'm familiar
Minnesota.
with the abbreviation.
Yeah, MD Maryland. So this representative became curious as to whether periodic lapses in funding ran afoul of an obscure law called the Anti-Deficiency Act, which we all know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, the first ADA. Spellman asked then Comptroller General Elmer Stotz or Stat Staats Stotz. I don't know.
Probably stop.
Probably German. Stotz.
It's probably not even. There's probably not even a hard T in it.
I can't do a German accent.
No, that's probably no.
And then in March 1980, so this was happening in the 70s, and they just let it go, I guess. And then
Probably.
by 80, they were like, "What's?"
They were so chill in the 70s, though.
Yeah, Carter. Stutz. No, that's not German. Responded that while technically the law prevented agencies from spending money that hadn't been appropriated by Congress, that didn't mean lawmakers wanted operations to come to a screeching halt while funding decisions were being sorted out. So there was just a legal assumption that was operating where they were like, well, Congress wants us to keep things going, right?
Yeah.
Congress wants us to sort things out. Stotz wrote, "We do not believe that Congress intends that federal agencies be closed during periods of expired appropriations." And I think that's great.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks after the letter, Stotz says, Stotz. What does German sound like? Let's not go there.
No. Let's go there today.
The Attorney General weighed in. Civiletti. In a letter to President Carter, he said, "It is my opinion that during periods of, quote, lapsed appropriations, no funds may be expended except as necessary to bring about the orderly termination of an agency's functions, and that the obligation or expenditure of funds for any purpose not otherwise authorized by law would be a violation of the Anti-Deficiency Act." Which, I mean, like, I guess I see where he's coming from, but also just like, why would you say that? Legally and like technically the math of it, fine, whatever, I get it, come to your conclusion, but also like go back to the real world and don't just like blah 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 blah.
Right,
because now
nice,
he's
like,
saying
in theory.
Oh, okay. So then Civiletti went further. He said that the Justice Department intended to enforce criminal provisions of the act against federal officials who continued running their agencies without funding. That meant fines of up to $5,000, as much as 2 years in prison.
For
spending.
Okay.
For federal officials who continued running their agencies without funding. Yeah. So that's just like not halting things.
Yeah, right.
And it didn't take long after Civiletti issued his opinion for the first shutdown to a corpse.
Right. He like gave like the green light.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then in 1981, Civiletti, this fucking
oh my god,
king,
never
king
ends. No, literally.
King of our country, Civiletti.
Founder of the shutdown.
King Civiletti. Civiletti issued a second opinion. He said, even in the absence of appropriations, some government functions could continue as long as there was some reasonable and articulable connection, which is such a low bar. It's a low legal bar, between the function to be performed and the safety of human life or the protection of property. So that's why ICE can be around. I think it's because Trump has found some reasonable and articulable connection between the function of ICE and the safety of human life
That feels like a reach.
Or the protection of property, maybe. Like, America's our I mean,
No,
not
but
ours, not mine.
no, definitely not mine. Right, but like,
and then this would morph into the essential versus non-essential employee misdesignation that now appears.
so then is food not essential for human life?
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm getting mixed messages from this.
Okay, so I feel like, do we have any other questions we need to answer about generally shutdowns? Because then I have some fun facts. In 2019, after, I'm assuming inspired by Trump's 2018 shutdown.
Right, which by the way was, if
Which
you
was-
don't know this, that was the longest shutdown up
I think
until
it was
this
35
one.
days.
34 days. And I think we're at fucking a million.
we're at 36.
Feels like forever.
So he said after 2019, I couldn't I couldn't have ever imagined these shutdowns would last this long of a time and would be used as a political gambit.
Okay, well that is short-sighted of
Horrible
him.
imagination.
Yeah, what?
He probably did not do well in preschool.
Is he alive?
A place where you need a lot of imagination. No, he died in 2022.
Oh, so he didn't get to see this tragedy.
So yeah, that's crazy. Another little known fact, and actually this was dropped casually by my grandpa,
who will be featured soon.
Okay, this is crazy. Without Benjamin Giannetti, the king of our country, who's still
Right. Next time you go to a protest, make sure you include
Benjamin
Giannetti
Giannetti
on your sign.
So without Benny, we would not have had the Monica Lewinsky affair. Yes, because Monica Lewinsky was moved to the West Wing during a
government shutdown. Whoa.
Yeah. And the close proximity between the two led to the affair and also it was like a skeleton crew.
Okay.
There were not a lot of people around. So without Benjamin Giannetti, although my lawyer has advised me not to say it like that, I mean it with no offense. We wouldn't have Bush, we wouldn't have Dick Cheney.
I know.
Without Benjamin Giannetti.
You know who we wouldn't have?
And his opinion.
Jeb.
I love Jeb.
Wait, I do have a thought on Monica Lewinsky. This is just kind of like a general rule of thumb. I find that anything I ever say about her is never in disrespect to her.
Oh, no.
Ever. And I know yours isn't.
Yeah.
But I just want to make that.
Oh, yes. Abundantly clear. She was
clear.
as a 26-year-old.
Yeah.
She was 21 or
So
I think
young.
she's even young. This is a baby. That's a child. That's an infant.
Truly.
That's someone without a fully developed frontal lobe,
I
and
agree.
she's had to deal with this. So no shade at all to Monica Lewinsky. I mean,
yeah,
it's not her fault. The government shut it. It's Benjamin.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. So this is just about the air traffic. So that was the fun fact that I have. Just the one. So now I think, unless you have any questions, okay, I think we should move on to and here's what they do in South Korea and Germany, because they sometimes have problems.
Right, South Korea did
like a similar
an issue.
Yes, so they go with a maintenance / provisional budget based on the budget for the fiscal year prior.
Genius.
It's like a good automatic call.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
We should. It's
like a fallback. Just play. It's a plan
just
B.
In case.
Wait, why do we not have a plan
and
B?
Also,
in
it's
this country?
everyone knows that if you needed that much last year, you're gonna need at least that much this year because things are now more expensive. So to give that much is,
I agree.
Although we really overspend militarily, so it wouldn't be good for them to just be like, yeah,
because then we're just.
So there's just a lot to think about there. Okay, and so here's the thing: shutdowns end because of air
traffic.
Yeah, the ATC. And the first notorious one was in 1981 because it had just.
Right, because of Benjamin.
Yeah, he'd just been like, no, don't assume that Congress wants the country to run.
Right.
Let's just not make an ass out of you and me and assume that they don't want it to run.
I mean, you can't assume things.
That way, but you can assume them the other way.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So in 1981, over 13,000, this is under Reagan.
Okay.
Over 13,000 air traffic controllers, and members of the Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organization, also known as PATCO, not Petco, PATCO, went on strike for higher wages, better benefits, and improved working conditions.
I like that.
Reagan was like, President Ronald Reagan responded by giving them an ultimatum to return to work, and when they refused, fired the striking controllers, banned them from federal service, and hired replacements, effectively crushing the union and impacting the labor movement's power. the government decertified the Patco union, and most of the strike, so Patco no longer.
Over.
I haven't seen Petco in a while
No,
either.
I have not.
Yeah, the Petco in our local strip
It's
mall.
gone.
Yeah. And maybe
Well,
there's
yeah,
like
maybe
6
so.
years left in the world. Did you know that? There's like you can count on like 2
Really?
hands. Yeah, I learned that recently. Brick and mortar. So yeah.
Right. So then they had to
Oh, the
like,
ban on hiring striking controllers was lifted years later, but I mean, that's a long time.
right. And so now they feel as though they are not allowed to strike because they'll be punished. And so even though they have a union, from what I know, from what I've looked into on my own perusal, it does seem like they're just like, we literally can't strike. Like people are in the Reddit group, like telling them
Right.
to strike, and they're like, we can't. What is helpful, and this is for all those listeners out there, if you really want to help ETC, you should just call your local representative and tell them to do their job.
Yes, for sure. And also the
The air traffic controllers, they're afraid to strike. Yeah, they're afraid to strike
Oh,
because
okay.
they can't.
So the reason that we did want to looking into it is because it's weird to me, and call me crazy,
Crazy.
that people are not getting their SNAP benefits, they're not getting their food stamps. ICE seems to be doing a pretty good job out there functioning.
ICE is working OT.
So does ICE fit the definition that the tight definition that they gave us? I mean, it's loose. That was my
Right. No, right. Hopefully our viewers understand sarcasm and wittiness. No, it
what
does.
was it? I'm
Well,
looking for it again. What was the
it does seem to be whatever it is. It's deemed essential by DJT. So that's why he's allowed to do it, because he's the supreme ruler of the land.
Some reasonable and articulable connection between the function to be performed and the safety of human life or the protection of property.
Right. He thinks that people that are here illegally or even possibly legally, as it has been rumored,
Okay, here we go.
are a threat to the United States.
I never got to the answer of why ICE is still getting paid. So ICE, according to AI Overview, which what I mean, I'm not better than a computer. ICE law enforcement officers are still being paid during a government shutdown because their work is considered essential and funds are being appropriated, you know what that word is,
Yeah, we do.
for them through reconciliation laws or other means. Okay, reconciliation laws. What is that? What is a reconciliation law? Documenting the harm of the 2025 Reconciliation Act. This is according to the National Immigration Law Center.
Okay.
Reliable.
Yeah, I think so.
They obviously have a bias, but not a
No. To secure how.
It's a slush fund for detention and enforcement. But I don't, okay, it says, but instead, the government have the opportunity to invest in healthcare, create jobs, invest in our children's education, but instead of using our taxpayer money to make those visions a reality, the Reconciliation Act / funding for basic safety net programs like Medicaid and anti-poverty programs, and redirected more than $150 billion towards fueling Trump's anti-immigration agenda.
Wow.
$45 billion to detain immigrant adults and families. $75 billion in enforcement and surveillance funding for border communities, including $47 billion for construction of the border wall. He's still trying to do that?
That's a lot of money.
You thought
it was done.
I thought he was just like saying that he built it, and because he said that he built it, we all were like, okay, yeah, you built it, and then we can all just say that he built it.
I think it's still literally being built. There's no end in sight.
$22 billion for immigration agents and operations related to enforcement and deportation. $13.5 billion for state and local enforcement of federal immigration law. $1 billion to divert military resources towards border militarization. Okay, wait. But I don't understand
How he's able to. I
like,
think
where's he getting this money?
feels like Congress being shut down is giving him the most amount of power.
The agency is using ICE. ICE is the agency.
Yeah.
What does that stand for? Immigration control. Customs
enforcement.
Immigration's customs
Enforcement.
immigration but there's an and implied there.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The agency is using
US?
ICE is actually such a cool name. I hate that. So the agency is using funds from previous spending bills, such as the Big Beautiful Bill, the BBB, and through other mechanisms to cover ongoing operations and employee salaries. Okay, so they're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart.
No, they're not.
I wasn't certain that they weren't, because some of them are real passionate. But this is America. You need to get paid to do things. And these funds are not dependent on the current year's appropriation that have lapsed, which allows ICE to continue. And it's deemed essential, but I don't know. So why does it have to be both? Leftover money.
Using national debt. Where's the
using
leftover
funds
money?
from previous acts. That must be what that means. Is that there's money left, right?
So they're taking money from one debt.
So we overgave.
And giving it to ourselves to spend and then put back.
So here's, whatever. I'm fine with that. Use the money you have. But you know what that tells us? Whatever money they have now that they're using until the subtract it from next year's budget. They don't need that money.
Right, because we're already in the year.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
And also, they didn't use that money last year. So they don't need that whole thing.
Year just started.
So, yeah, I think that's all that I have. I don't know if I should summarize my thoughts.
I mean, my biggest takeaway, really just in what we can do as citizens, is to contact your local representative. You can do that. They have offices, they have numbers you can call, inundate them with phone calls, emails, letters. I mean,
because it's in the Constitution, we do need their approval for spending. So there's no way around this.
But also no taxation without representation.
Right, so make them represent you.
Us.
Yeah, and I just think that what we should all do is have the names of our senators and congresspeople and everyone who's involved in this. I mean, I was going to say don't vote for them next time, but there's not going to be another better option.
I think it's more...
Throw eggs at their house?
No, because we don't condone assault.
Yeah, and we don't know where anyone lives anyway.
No, but I think it's more just take everything with a grain of salt, question things, know that you do hold a lot of power, you pay taxes, you deserve representation, you deserve leaders that will represent you and your needs and stand up for you and not let so many workers go without pay, people go without food. It's not right. And it's not right from all of our representatives.
And we cannot praise their unwillingness to compromise because it's making children hungry, and they're still ISIS. I can't. ISIS,
also all of the Congress people are getting paid.
Well, what?
Yeah, they're all still getting paid.
Can you Google why that is? Here, I'll hold your microphone. That's crazy. The last people in the whole world that are essential are the members of
clearly
our Senate.
Congress continues to be paid during a government shutdown primarily due to the U.S. Constitution's provisions regarding their compensation and a separate permanent appropriation for their salaries. Constitutional mandate Article 1, Section 6 states that, quote, senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services to be ascertained by law and paid out by the Treasury of the United States. This language guarantees their pay and does not make it contingent on Congress passing annual appropriation bills for the rest of the government.
I feel like when the Senate is making laws about themselves, we should have to vote on it.
1%.
There should be an extra check.
And there was a 27th Amendment that was created. You want to know what it says?
At least we gave women the right to vote first.
No. True. The 27th Amendment further complicates efforts to stop congressional pay during a shutdown. It prohibits any law varying the compensation for the services of the senators and representatives from taking effect until an intervening House election has occurred. This means that even if a law were passed to stop their pay during a shutdown, it couldn't be enforced immediately.
Okay, so yes, and I think that that's actually a good place to end on, is to remember your Congress people are getting paid.
Yeah.
So
sit with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. And I don't think there's anything we can do about it.
No, unfortunately.
Except for call your representative and be like...
Bother them.
Bother. Yeah, we have to bother. Should we call ours right now?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, let's practice what we preach. Let's call our representative.
We might just get a voicemail.
I would love that.
Okay, let's just call.
Because in the voicemail, we could just say what we feel. Who are we calling?
Congressman Daily David.
Aww. He sounds like a sweetheart. At first, I was really...
Wait,
Hi, I'm sorry. This is serious. We're just calling because we're concerned about the government shutdown and...
just the impact that it's having on so many people, so many residents of Chicago. And
We don't know if there's anything you can do about it, but
Right, or like what you know or what your thoughts are. But we just are really feeling frustrated and just want to make that known, but in a very respectful way.
and God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so that is an example of what you can do with zero
But
preparation.
I was thinking though, like, who's an important congressperson?
Call Brad Schneider.
Should we call Brad Schneider?
Yeah, you know, a message.
It's really giving. What if you just call Taylor up? Should we call Benjamin Ready?
He's dead. Oh, should we Ouija board him on? Ouija
Yes,
board him?
we're going to.
Hi. I don't want to leave my name and address.
We're just very upset about the government shutdown.
But I don't want to leave my name and address and phone number. But I do think that you guys should do something about the shutdown.
And I think it is upsetting that you're just getting to sit and,
And you guys are getting paid, and
Yeah.
you should maybe donate your salary to a TSA agent.
or an ATC or someone who's receiving SNAP benefits. And I hope you are, because it's important to help your local community.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Try to get it together. Okay, so something like that.
Right. You can be a little pithy, a little snarky if you want.
People should be inundating the leadership.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
The
and
leadership of
we
both
should all be
parties.
in it. So we'll call him next.
Yeah.
Call Mike Johnson.
Call up Mike Johnson.
He's the speaker, right?
Yeah. He's important, apparently.
I want his personal line.
But yeah, you just want to be so irritating to them because they're being irritating to us. And that's frustrating. It's upsetting and disheartening. And
Can you not even call Mike
Yeah.
Johnson?
okay,
He's
well,
flying to be president.
that's a problem.
Is that what you think this? What?
No, those are like his satellite offices.
Okay, Mike.
He's a busy guy, I guess.
So can you not even call the
opening
important one?
Just inundate your local one, and if we all inundate our local representatives, they'll all get the message.
We
You're a star.
started looking into it, and so maybe we've said something, and you're like, but they didn't answer this question. Google it for yourself. I
That's
think
the hope.
because we can't exactly do anything, but we can know things.
It's important to be informed.
We can know what's being done to us.
You know what they say, that knowledge is power. And I
Yeah.
believe that.
I agree.
So tune in next week. It's going to be a good one. Thanks for watching and listening. Appreciate you guys.
Bike into cars this week.